WOLFPACK, assemble! What's going on? It's TC, and this is the Remix Series 1, Episode 8. Firstly, if you're new to the WOLFPACK, a very warm welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. And if you find any of the information in this video useful, please smash the like button and send it to your circle of producers. If you're not already part of the community, part of the WOLFPACK, hit that subscribe button to receive notifications every time I upload some fresh new information. Also, don't forget to check out my samples and presets for Serum, Vital, Massive, and FM8. Check out my t-shirts and hats. Follow my Anthems playlist on Spotify. Follow my Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Links in the description. So this is the Remix Series 1 Episode 8. And this is the final installment of the remix. So just to recap, in this series, I was asked to do a remix by a group called Cliques. And what I said I wanted in return for a remix was this gold coin. So they sent me this gold coin and sent me the parts, and I got started on it. So I got the parts, sorted through the parts, got the bits out that I wanted to use and the bits I didn't want to use, recorded some drums over the course of 2 days, edited up those drums, made some drum breaks for the remix, so some like fresh drums for the remix. Worked on the track for a few episodes, 2 or 3 episodes, put it all together, went out in my car, tested it in the car, listened to it on my phone, and now I've sent the remix off for feedback, and the only feedback that I really got from them was that they love it. So I'm super gassed about that. It shows that all the hard work that I put in over the course of 8 or 9 days, doing something that's from scratch with new sounds, new drums, new basses, really paid off. And I'm not having to go back and do like 100 changes or make any changes for them. But really what I want to do now, before I send them the final version, is clean up the project completely. So rename all the tracks correctly, and just for my own sort of feeling like it's finished, to give it finality. So renaming all the tracks, coloring all the tracks the right colors for the parts, making sure that then each part is absolutely perfect throughout its entire length, and then looking at the mix down maybe a little bit more carefully just to make sure there's nothing that I've missed, and then looking at my master, so my master chain, whether I might want to add a flavor to the master chain, and then I will be bouncing out the final mixes and just giving it that finality, the final touches to send off for delivery, and then I can be happy in the knowledge that I have worked hard enough to earn this gold coin. So let's get started. I'm in Logic. This remix was done in Logic, and I'm super gassed to be using Logic on this remix. There are actually a few parts now I'm looking at it. What I'm going to do firstly is save as a new version. So we're going for version 4. I've got my bin up here, which is all the parts that I didn't use in the final remix. These are bits and bobs that they sent me, and all my bass parts that I bounced out. And I'm actually going to bounce out some more of these basses here, just bounce in place so that they're in audio. And when things are in audio, it feels like it's a bit safer, because soft synths can change. And if you make sure that everything in a track is in audio, then you're not going to end up opening it in 2 or 3 years' time and that soft synth is no longer on your computer, or the samples have moved. So there's this that needs to be bounced in place. So I'll just quickly bounce that in place. And because I've saved it as a new version, it's not an issue. So we're going to be here doing this stuff. This is the kind of boring stuff that needs to be done, but I feel like it really gives it that finality, just finishing off a track, bouncing all the parts in place. I'm happy to just delete the original parts, keep moving forward, bounce this in place. That's done. We've got here another Vital here. Just bounce it in place. I could bounce all of these parts really into one track, but I'll keep them all separate. There's not really going to be a time when I'm going to want to come back to these parts, but I just want to make sure from my point of view that I give it that real final touch, that real finality that brings it all together. Let's just bounce this one in place and this one in place. Nice. Okay, so I don't think there's really that many other software synths going on. There's a contact there with, I think that is, we'll find out what that is. Let's find out. That's those end pieces. I'm quite aware that I've used quite a lot of parts in this track that are actually things that I really wanted to make original tracks with. And that can be a bit of an issue sometimes, that you end up using parts that you really love And I'm really of a mindset that you can't use parts twice. So if I'm going to use a part or a bass noise or something in a remix, I really don't ever want to use that again in another tune, because I just don't feel okay with that. So I'm just going to bounce this. I'm just going to start preferencing these with the correct prefacing them with the correct titles. Look at that contact go. That bounces quick. All right. And I think that is it for any instruments now that are not bounced. Yeah, so this is it now. This is really what we have, and it's all in audio, and that's cool. These drums, I didn't end up putting them on the intro, so I'm just quite happy to just delete them there. These splashy drums on this first piece, quite happy to get rid of those. Let's have a listen. Sounding really good. So I happen to know that this is effects down here. So let's just do effects, impacts. In there, we've got TC effects. I like to sort of make sure that I have the first lettering of each channel name to be just in keeping with my own standards. So I'll have effects, music, bass, vocals. So then if I was ever to bounce the parts out, which is very unlikely with a remix because it's not really any likelihood of anyone doing a remix of the remix. But still, from my standardization and to make me feel like I've done a good job, I just want to make sure that I have everything in good order. So I really like to have I'm going to get the colors out here. Just pop that there. I like my bass to be in red. Anything bass is going to be in red here. Drums, I usually like to have in blue. So if I've got any other drummy stuff here, got extra vocals. So these can go up in the vocal bit, and we'll just rename that Vox XTC Vox for extra TC vocals. And we'll do it again here and do 2. That's nice. The vocals seem to be in this like orange color. So I'm just going to select them all to be like that. We've got music here. Let's go purple for music. We've got drums. So I'm going to have the music down here. Got extra drums here. We've got drums there. So we'll just put those up here. Got the ride there. That's all bounce. So I'll just make all of that the same color. And we'll just rename that drums extra ride. Awesome. And we got extra percussion there. So drums extra perk 2. Nice. All right, so that is bass. So that's a super Reese bass. That can be red. And we'll just do bass super Reese. Got bass WAP. We've got bass WAP 2. And actually, that one has got quite a lot of plugins. I'm going to bounce that in place again, just because it had like a D-click plugin that I probably may not be able to get back at some point in the future. So just bounce that in. We've got here some loop thing. Let's just zoom in a bit so I can see what it is and maybe identify it. Okay, so... Okay, so that's like the sub pangs actually. So bass pangs. And we just color that in red. And this is all bass stuff. Let's start changing these icons as well to my TC icon that I got in here. Nice. Just going through the whole thing, making sure that it's all nicely sorted, and just you know, from my point of view, I wouldn't want to send it off if it wasn't all just perfect. So then we've got another bass thing here, I think. So that's bass like mega pang. Mega pang, mega pang. And another bass one here. That's like the mighty. What is that? Mighty. That's like low sub. We'll color that in red. That's like a bass drop. And we'll color that in red too. Just change the icon to a TC icon. Got the sun properly in my face right now. Had to put the cap down a bit. Change the icon on this one here. And this is the America bass. So I'm just going to bass, America bass. And then we got bass, Reese cut. Oh, I just dropped my gold coin on the floor. That's sad. It's a very valuable piece of gold, but it is what it is. Let's close that up. All right. So we've got the America bass there. I'm just going to color that in red. There's a lot of bass in this tune. Then we've got the big Reese cut. So let's just color all those and just put the TC logo on the channel. And then we've got the reverse Reese cut. So that's like that. We'll do that in bass too. And this is music contact. So we're going to go purple on that. Just chuck it up here. This is effects. And we'll go for, these are all effects here. So let's choose a color, like a yellow maybe. Oh, I don't know, like a green. Got green for effects. And that's all looking really nice. Got all the vocals up there. Still got a couple of icons to change here. Let's just quickly do that. Click, 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 click. Wow, that sun is properly just in my face right now. In your face! Okay, and just these last little icons to change. And then we'll zoom out and just make sure it all looking nice. Nice. How do we feel about that? Not much music going on in this tune. It's quite an instrumentally sort of tune. I guess those blips, where are those blips? Because they're definitely music. I don't know where they've gone. Oh, it's actually this. So let's just... Let's recolor that. Nice. Not sure about the color for these drums. I like teal and orange, but just gonna go with like more of a bluey blue. Just for my own standards, I can more easily identify that. That's looking good. We've got vocals. Let's just make sure that this is... let's change this music pad to music here. Chuck it down here. That sun's out of my eyes now, it's nice. Get those colours back up. Put it in purple. Let's just get the standardization of all the... So sick. So sick. This is a bass here. And basically what it lets you do when you come to like the mix down, when you're looking for parts, it makes it a lot quicker to just, if everything's super organized, you can just go, okay, I know it's a drum issue, and then you can just go to where all your drums are. And because they're all in the same place, they're all named the same. Let's just do some of this, just clean up, make sure it's all perfect. I'm just going to save that where I'm at now. So we've got vocals, drums, music, bass, and effects. Nice and easy. Everything's easy. From a mix down standpoint, I don't think there's going to be a lot to do with this. Just listening to it, I'm really happy. I will show you one thing. Now I'm happy with the mix down, and I think the guys are quite happy with it too. From a mastering standpoint, I'm going to open up this analyzer here. This analyzer comes with the sound card that I use, which is an RME sound card. We've got an anti-phase meter here. There's no anti-phase going on. There might be some on the intro. Still no anti-phase. I'm just going to check that this metering is calibrated correctly, so I'm going to open up this total mix here. It runs off the headphone output, with a loopback, so I just want to make sure it's at 0, which it is. So then I'll open up and I'll look at my K clip here, and I'm adding 12.4 decibels here. And what I'm looking at on this metering is, like, I've obviously spent a lot of time learning the metering, and here it should be around here. So it's a little bit hot, this remix, in terms of level. But given the style of it, the remix, I'm not too bothered about it being slightly overcooked in terms of the levels. And when it comes to because I've recorded the drums and all the bass is now bounced and it's super, super clean, sometimes you can get away with more level or more kind of overcookedness if the remix is super clean and you're not detecting too much distortion with your ears. And it's a super simple. Let me open up this other spectrum that I've got here. So this is IXL. I mean, I'm seeing maybe a bit too much sub, but again, given the style of the remix, I feel like it can have that level of sub. Top end levels are looking nice. I'm adding just 1.8 decibels at 600 hertz, very wide. I've got a high pass at 30 hertz, and I'm monoing the signal from 230 hertz down. I never really mess with this stereo width stuff. I always feel like when I go and play with these stereo width controls, I never really trust it, but we could maybe add like 2% stereo width, just for like the fun of it, just so it sounds 2% better or wider than it does than the last version that I sent to the guys. Maybe I'll take, like, personally, I think I could get away with more level. 12.4 right now. You can tell as I boost that level, it's really getting to a distortion level. And if I go to 10 dB, I can see on these metering I'm slightly under where I like to be. If you see my mouse here, I like to be sort of around that, sort of definitely on that, meet that place there. And that's just coming from having watched a lot of other people's tunes. So I'm gonna push this a little. I think 12.4 was really where it was about right, but maybe down like 0.2. And just go back here. That's feeling really nice. I'm just going to go back to the beginning again. It's obviously down a little bit. The different basses have different amounts of pressure. But in general, I feel really happy with that. I feel like I've done the cleanup that I really wanted to do on the tune, just to make sure that it's just everything's perfect, everything's named correctly. If there is any changes, it makes it super quick for me to go back and make any changes that are necessary. So yeah, I really think that wraps up the remix in such a nice way, just to clean up the whole project. And I'm going to go for a bounce. It's going to be PCM 24-bit 44.1 wave file. I used to do it as AIF back in the day. I don't know about this. I've always kept the Power 3 noise shaping on there ever since it was introduced in like Logic 5, and it was like such a big feature. I guess it's something to do with dithering. So if you're dithering down, but I always felt like it had a little something, and I don't mind doing it offline. That's not an issue. We'll keep the MP3 320 and just let's do naming correctly. I do believe they are called cliques. I'm just going to double check that because I want to make sure that I'm not buoying them off with some, CLIQUES. Let's do it right. Cliques, Not of This World, TC remix version. And I think I sent them version 9. So let's do 9.1. And I'm actually going to make a new folder for this. Just call it final, and I'm going to bounce this out for them. So let's do that. Bouncing out the tune. Nice bit of coffee, maybe a bit of nicotine, some vape. Derp, derp, derpy, derp, derp. Cleaned up a little bit. You can't really tell. I've got some boxes in here right now, but did a little bit of spring cleaning today. Nice. I don't mind this taking a while. It might be... it might be a good idea to bounce it with a little bit more oversampling on the final master plugins, but it might be that I come back and do that. But for now, I'm happy with this. Just finishing up here. That is done. Converting the MP3. And it's always a really good idea to just bounce out an instrumental. So I'll leave my extra vocals in there, but I'm just going to bounce out an instrumental because, sometimes it's requested from labels to send an instrumental. So I'll just bounce one of those out. And this is the final process. It's so good just to give it that final love. I remember back in the day when I was working with other producers, and before we had this kind of bouncing, you'd finish the tune and you'd record it onto your DAT tape or like onto your CD to get it sent off for mastering, and you'd have like a special pen that you would write on the CD with or on the DAT tape, and you just give it that love, just sort of that feeling from the universe that you're just kind of giving it everything, all the good energy, all the good vibes that you possibly can, good gold coin vibes. So yeah, very happy with the way this has all turned out. Drop the bombs. Absolutely fantastic. Super gassed with that. Really happy with the whole process and being able to share it with you. It's just been an absolute pleasure. And I will be doing this again. If anybody wants to give me an ounce of gold, I will remix your tune as long as I love the original tune. Hopefully somebody will be open to me doing this kind of process once again and showing what it takes from my process and my creative process to do a remix from start to finish. Hopefully I can document it in a more professional manner next time. I've learned so much doing this. Recording video alongside with doing a remix has been a serious challenge for me. Just trying to document as much as I can of it. Obviously the whole process of writing music I keep hitting the wrong button. The whole process of writing music is a very personal thing. It was really tough to show some of that because I felt like some of it might be really boring, exploring all of the different options that were involved in making a track or doing a remix. Next time, I think I will be more professional with the way that I document every single step in the process. I really hope that you've learned something or discovered something, or it's helped you. I've had messages from quite a lot of people who have said that watching this series has really inspired them to want to start to make music again, or to even start making music for the first time. And bringing this super real and dedicated methodology to making music, having a goal is super important too, but just bringing this realness of recording your own instruments and really believing that what you're doing is making a difference and making art that will stand the test of time is so crucial. And I think Logic actually is a big part of that for me, that I have lost. And going back to Logic has been actually quite emotional for me. Not emotional, but has been quite a thing. Just knowing that when you put a sound in, it's going to really sound good. Whereas I've found with Ableton, it's great for super quick ideas. Like I did all the drum breaks in Ableton because it's so easy and quick to chop up samples and put them in order. But the overall sound of Ableton, I think, was really starting to get me down. And Logic just had this feeling of, I was there at the beginning using Logic, and the sound of it is just so crystal clear, and it comes through so much on the remix. So I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who has watched this series, and I can't wait to do another project like this. I'm eager to get a second gold coin and stack in. So yeah, thanks so much. If you found anything in this video interesting, please smash the like button. It means a lot to me, helps me build my channel. I'm trying to get the information out there to everybody and just spread the love and the good vibes, positive energy. Don't forget to, if you just discovered this, if you just seen it, to please hit the subscribe. It means a lot that you hit the notifications and be able to keep up to date with all that's new from me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you have any ideas for future videos, I read all the comments. I try to reply to everybody. It's a challenge, but I'm getting a lot better at my discipline. Don't forget to check out my sites in the description below for samples and presets. I actually use some samples in this remix that you can buy on my website in the Jungle Pack for Vital particularly, and I also use one of the arpeggiators from the Arpeggiator pack. A massive big up to all the WOLFPACK, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. Peace. Remix. That's it. It's done. It's over. It's finished. Woo!